Hey guys! In today's video, we're going to talk about a very important and delicate topic, pornography addiction. We all know that pornography can have negative effects on our lives, from relationship problems to mental health impacts. But the good news is that there are effective strategies to overcome this addiction. That's what we're going to talk about today. Stay with us until the end to learn some practical tips that can change your life if you're trying to end this addiction in your life. The profound impact of pornography. First of all, we need to understand that pornography is not merely a matter of personal morality. It's a matter of mental health and general well-being. Many people don't realize how much pornography can distort and deform the view we have about human relationships and sexuality. When we watch pornography, we are, in a way, reducing people, especially women, to mere objects of pleasure. Think about the women you know, your mothers, sisters, friends. Imagine them being treated in the same way as the figures in pornography. It's a disturbing image, isn't it? In addition to this disturbing image, it is crucial to understand how pornography consumption affects the way we interact with others and ourselves. Research indicates that constant exposure to pornography can lead to desensitization, meaning that consumers may begin to require increasingly explicit and extreme content to achieve the same level of arousal. This can create a vicious cycle, where the person becomes increasingly insensitive to real intimacy and genuine human interactions. Pornography, therefore, not only impacts the perception of others, but also dehumanizes the consumer himself, removing him from true emotional experiences and meaningful connections. Furthermore, the psychological impact can be profound. Habitual pornography consumption is associated with several mental health problems, including depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. Many individuals report feeling ashamed or guilty after consuming pornography, which can create a cycle of self-reproach and isolation. These feelings can worsen pre-existing mental health problems, making it difficult for the person to seek help or support. Pornography can become an escape valve, but one that, paradoxically, further traps a person in a state of emotional suffering. Another relevant point is how pornography influences our expectations about sex and relationships. The acts portrayed in pornography are often unrealistic and highly choreographed, presenting a distorted view of what is normal and acceptable in a sexual relationship. This can lead to unrealistic expectations, where people may feel inadequate or unsatisfied with their own sexual experiences. Young people, in particular, who are in stages of sexual development and discovery, are especially vulnerable to these negative influences. They can internalize these distorted expectations and develop a misunderstanding about consent, respect, and reciprocity in sexual relationships. The impact of pornography can also be seen in the context of relationships. Pornography consumption can often create barriers between partners, generating feelings of betrayal and mistrust. The person who consumes pornography may become less interested in the real partner, preferring the quick and easy arousal provided by pornography. This can lead to problems with intimacy and communication, weakening the relationship and, in many cases, resulting in separations or divorces. Pornography use can thus erode the foundation of trust and connection that sustains a healthy relationship. We cannot ignore the broader social impact of pornography. The porn industry frequently exploits participants, often in precarious working conditions and without proper health and safety precautions. Furthermore, pornography can perpetuate and reinforce harmful stereotypes and misogynistic attitudes, contributing to the objectification and devaluation of women in society. This creates an environment where violence and sexual exploitation can be seen as normal or acceptable, perpetuating cycles of abuse and discrimination. In short, pornography is a complex issue that goes beyond personal morality. It profoundly impacts mental health, interpersonal relationships, and society as a whole. We need to approach this issue with seriousness and understanding, recognizing its harmful effects and looking for ways to mitigate its impact. Educating people about the risks and promoting a healthy, respectful understanding of sexuality are crucial steps to addressing the profound impact of pornography on our society. Now, let's understand the distortion of reality and its consequences. Over the years, I have met countless people who have been deeply affected by pornography. They share stories of how their lives have negatively changed because of this habit. Pornography can lead to a distorted view of sexuality, where instant, superficial pleasure becomes the focus, to the detriment of a deeper, more meaningful and human connection. These people often report how pornography has altered their sexual expectations and behaviors in harmful ways. Many describe a growing disinterest in real sexual relations, as pornography creates an idealized fantasy that reality cannot match. This can lead to chronic dissatisfaction and difficulties in maintaining healthy, long-lasting relationships. The expectation that sex should always be performative and devoid of imperfections puts unnecessary and unrealistic pressure on themselves and their partners. Additionally, regular pornography consumption can cause significant intimacy problems. People may find it difficult to connect emotionally with their partners as they become accustomed to the instant, depersonalized gratification that pornography offers. The constant search for new and more exciting forms of stimulation can lead to a gradual withdrawal from real, meaningful intimacy, where vulnerability and reciprocity are essential. Additionally, many people report feelings of shame and guilt associated with consuming pornography. These negative emotions can be debilitating, contributing to lower self-esteem and the development of mental health disorders such as depression and anxiety. Pornography, instead of just being a form of entertainment, can become a compulsion, taking up a significant space in an individual's life and interfering with their daily responsibilities and relationships. Pornography can also create a distorted view of women and power dynamics in sexual relationships. She often portrays women in an objectified manner, as mere instruments of pleasure, devoid of personality or dignity. This can reinforce misogynistic attitudes and contribute to the devaluation of women in society at large. Men who consume pornography may begin to view the women in their lives through this distorted prism, which can negatively affect their interactions and attitudes. It is also important to consider the impact on the porn industry itself. Often, the actors and actresses who participate in these videos are subject to exploitative working conditions, without access to basic rights or adequate health care. The pressure to meet unrealistic standards of beauty and performance can be extremely harmful to the physical and mental health of these individuals. Pornography, therefore, is not only harmful to consumers, but also to those involved in its production. Another aspect to be mentioned is the impact on the training of young people. Early exposure to pornography can shape teens' understanding of sexuality in distorted and harmful ways. They can internalize mistaken messages about consent, respect, and reciprocity, taking these distorted concepts into their future sexual and emotional relationships. The lack of adequate sexual education, combined with easy access to pornography, creates fertile ground for the perpetuation of harmful myths and behaviors. Additionally, pornography can negatively influence sexual performance. Frequent consumption can lead to pornography-induced erectile dysfunction, where sexual arousal is only possible through the consumption of pornography and cannot be reproduced in real sexual relations. This can create a cycle of frustration and anxiety, where the individual becomes increasingly dependent on pornography for sexual pleasure. Finally, it is essential to discuss possible solutions to mitigate these negative effects. Comprehensive sexuality education, which includes discussions about pornography and its impacts, can help people develop a healthier, more realistic understanding of sexuality. Promoting relationships based on mutual respect, open communication, and emotional intimacy can counterbalance the distorted messages promoted by pornography. Therapies and support programs can also be effective for those struggling with pornography addiction, helping them regain control over their lives and reestablish meaningful connections. In short, the impact of pornography is profound and multifaceted, affecting both individuals and society as a whole. Recognizing and addressing these effects is crucial to promoting a healthier, more balanced view of human sexuality and relationships. Pornography and mental health. Many scholars consider pornography addiction not just a moral problem, but a serious mental health problem. Constant exposure to pornography can rewire the way our brain responds to sexual arousal, creating a cycle of addiction that is difficult to break. This can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, and dissatisfaction, both with oneself and with real partners. Pornography affects mental health in many ways. Initially, pornography consumption activates the brain's reward systems, releasing dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure. However, over time, the brain can become desensitized to these stimuli, requiring increasingly explicit and extreme content to achieve the same level of excitement. This phenomenon, known as tolerance, is similar to what occurs with addictive substances, such as drugs and alcohol. The incessant search for new stimuli can lead to compulsion, where the individual feels an uncontrollable need to consume pornography, even when it negatively interferes with their daily life. In addition to neurological rewiring, pornography can significantly influence sexual perception and behavior. Individuals who regularly consume pornography may develop unrealistic expectations about sex and relationships. These distorted expectations can cause frustration and dissatisfaction when reality does not match idealized fantasies. Dissonance between reality and fantasy can lead to decreased sexual and emotional satisfaction with real partners, exacerbating feelings of disconnection and isolation. The psychological effects of pornography addiction can be profound and long-lasting. Many individuals report feeling shame and guilt after consuming pornography, especially when it becomes a compulsive behavior. These feelings can result in low self-esteem and contribute to the development of mental disorders such as depression and anxiety. Shame and guilt can create a vicious cycle, where an individual uses pornography as a way to relieve stress or emotional pain, but ends up feeling worse after consumption, perpetuating the cycle of addiction. Pornography can also affect the dynamics of intimate relationships. Pornography addiction can lead to decreased sexual desire and intimacy with real partners. Many partners of individuals who are addicted to pornography report feeling betrayed and devalued, which can result in conflicts and breakdowns in relationships. A lack of emotional and physical intimacy can create an environment of distrust and alienation, making it difficult for partners to maintain a meaningful connection. In addition to direct impacts on mental health and relationships, pornography can influence broader social attitudes and behaviors. Regular exposure to pornographic content, which often objectifies and dehumanizes participants, can reinforce sexist attitudes and contribute to the normalization of abusive behavior. This can have profound implications for the way people perceive and treat each other, perpetuating cycles of violence and discrimination. For many people, pornography addiction is a hidden problem, shrouded in secrecy and shame. This makes it difficult to seek help, as fear of judgment can prevent individuals from seeking support. However, it's important to recognize that pornography addiction is a legitimate mental health problem that can be treated. Behavioral therapies, support groups, and rehabilitation programs are some of the options available to help those struggling with this addiction. Education and awareness are crucial to addressing the impact of pornography on mental health. Teaching people, especially young people, about the risks associated with consuming pornography and promoting a healthy understanding of sexuality can help prevent the development of addictive behaviors. Promoting an open, non-judgmental dialogue about pornography and its effects can encourage those who are struggling to seek help and support. In short, pornography addiction is a complex mental health problem that goes beyond personal morality. It involves neurological, psychological, and behavioral changes that can have profound and lasting consequences for individuals and their relationships. Recognizing and addressing these impacts is essential to promoting a healthier, more balanced view of sexuality and emotional well-being. The illusion of sexual freedom. In our current society, there is a growing tendency to consider pornography as normal or even modern. Some people even claim that watching pornography is a form of sexual education. However, this view is dangerous and misleading. True sex education must be based on respect, consent, and mutual understanding, not exploitation and objectification. Pornography often perpetuates a distorted view of human sexuality. Instead of promoting a healthy and balanced understanding of sexual relationships, it tends to reinforce unrealistic stereotypes and fantasies. Often, the sexual acts depicted in pornography are devoid of any emotional or relationship context, presenting sex as a mere physical activity devoid of deeper meaning. This decontextualized representation can lead viewers to develop distorted expectations about what constitutes a healthy and satisfying sexual relationship. Furthermore, pornography often portrays sex in a highly performative way, focused on male pleasure and the objectification of women. This creates an unequal power dynamic where women's needs and desires are often ignored or subordinated to those of men. This disproportion not only reinforces sexist ideas, but can also negatively influence viewers' attitudes towards sex and relationships. Instead of promoting respect and equality, pornography often reinforces the idea that sex is a field of dominance and submission. True sex education, on the other hand, should center on principles of mutual respect, informed consent, and open communication. It should teach individuals to value the emotional and physical well-being of themselves and their partners. Sexuality education should address not only the physical aspects of sex, but also the emotional and psychological aspects, helping people develop a complete and holistic understanding of sexuality. This includes teaching about the importance of consent, reciprocity, and emotional intimacy, elements that are often missing in pornography. Another problematic aspect of pornography is its impact on perceptions of consent. Pornography often depicts situations where consent is implicit or completely absent, which can lead viewers to internalize misconceptions about what constitutes valid consent. In a healthy context, consent must be clear, enthusiastic, and ongoing. However, pornography can trivialize or obscure the importance of consent, creating a culture where coercion or pressure is normalized. Additionally, constant exposure to pornography can desensitize viewers to explicit sexual content, leading to an increased need for more intense stimulation to achieve the same level of arousal. This cycle of desensitization can create an addiction, where the individual becomes increasingly obsessed with seeking out new and more extreme forms of pornography. Not only does this affect mental health, but it can also interfere with intimate relationships, where emotional intimacy and shared pleasure are replaced by a relentless search for immediate gratification. The illusion that pornography is a form of sexual freedom is therefore deeply problematic. Instead of freeing individuals to explore their sexuality in a healthy and satisfying way, pornography can trap them in cycles of dependence and dissatisfaction. It can distort the understanding of what it means to have a healthy sexual relationship and contribute to the perpetuation of harmful attitudes and behaviors. To counter the negative effects of pornography, it is essential to promote sexual education that is comprehensive and based on values of respect and equality. This includes not only conveying accurate information about anatomy and physiology, but also promoting open discussions about the emotional and psychological aspects of sexuality. Sexuality education should empower individuals to make informed and respectful choices based on a deep understanding of themselves and others. In short, the view that pornography is a valid form of sex education is a dangerous illusion. True sexual education must promote respect, consent, and mutual understanding, helping individuals to develop sexual relationships that are healthy, satisfying, and based on values of equality and reciprocity. Only in this way can we create a society where sexuality is celebrated in a positive and healthy way, free from the distortions and dangers imposed by pornography. Personal and collective responsibility. The responsibility we bear, both individually and collectively, in addressing and combating pornography is an imperative that cannot be underestimated. The complexity of this problem requires a deep reflection on the harmful effects of pornography on contemporary society and, more specifically, on the role of women in this fight. Historically, women have played a fundamental role in the pursuit of rights and equality. From the suffrage movement to contemporary feminist movements, women's struggle for recognition, respect, and equal opportunities has been constant and vigorous. However, the proliferation of pornography represents a significant obstacle to these advances. Pornography often perpetuates harmful gender stereotypes, objectifies women, and creates unrealistic expectations about sexuality and relationships. This not only undermines the progress made towards gender equality, but also reinforces a culture that devalues and dehumanizes women. The acceptance of pornography as fashionable or educational is a dangerous narrative that needs to be challenged. Studies have shown that pornography consumption can lead to a number of negative consequences, including desensitization to sexual violence, creating unrealistic expectations about sex and bodies, and negatively impacting self-esteem and body image. Furthermore, there is a worrying correlation between pornography consumption and increased violence against women. Therefore, it is essential that both men and women are aware of these risks and work together to eradicate this harmful influence. For women in particular, the fight against pornography should be seen as a natural extension of their battles for rights and equality. It is not just about protecting individual dignity, but about safeguarding the collective advances that have been hard-won over decades. The normalization of pornography reverses these advances, perpetuating a culture that treats women as objects rather than human beings full of rights and dignity. To effectively address this issue, it is necessary to promote an open and honest dialogue about the harm caused by pornography. This dialogue must occur at multiple levels within families, in schools, in the workplace, and in the media. We need to educate people, especially young people, about the realities and dangers of pornography. This education should emphasize mutual respect, gender equality, and the values of a healthy, consensual relationship. In addition to education, we need to create and promote resources and support for those struggling to overcome their pornography habit. This may include psychological support programs, support groups, and awareness campaigns. The fight against pornography cannot be fought in isolation. It requires a joint effort by individuals, communities, and institutions. Educational institutions play a crucial role in this process. Sex education in schools must go beyond biological issues and include discussions about consent, respect, and the harmful effects of pornography. Teachers and educators need to be trained to address these topics in a sensitive and informed way, creating an environment where students feel safe to discuss their questions and concerns. The media, in turn, must be responsible in the way it portrays sexuality and gender roles. We must challenge the glamorization of pornography and promote healthy, realistic depictions of relationships and intimacy. Celebrities and influencers can use their platforms to speak out against pornography and support initiatives that promote gender equality and mutual respect. Ultimately, the responsibility also lies with each of us as individuals. We need to reflect on our own behaviors and attitudes towards pornography and take steps to change. This may include seeking out healthy alternatives to sex education and entertainment, as well as supporting friends and family who may be struggling with pornography addiction. In short, personal and collective responsibility in addressing and combating pornography is an urgent and necessary task. Women, with their historic fight for equality, have a vital role to play in this battle. Together, as a society, we can challenge harmful narratives, educate future generations, and support each other to create a world where dignity and respect prevail over objectification and dehumanization. Strategies and paths to overcoming pornography addiction. Now that we understand the problems associated with pornography, it is crucial that we explore effective strategies for overcoming this addiction. Below, I present some practical suggestions and steps that can be followed to help in this process of recovery and personal transformation. 1. Recognize the problem. The first step to overcoming any addiction is awareness. It is admitted that pornography is negatively affecting your life. This can be a challenging time as it involves facing an uncomfortable truth about yourself. However, this recognition is essential to begin the journey of change. Reflect on the impacts of pornography on your relationships, self-esteem, performance at work or studies, and mental health. This honest self-examination is the foundation for the motivation needed to pursue real transformation. 2. Seek support and help. Overcoming pornography addiction is not a task that needs to be tackled alone. Seeking help from friends, family, or mental health professionals can provide the emotional support you need to face this struggle. Sharing your difficulties with people you trust can alleviate feelings of isolation and shame. Additionally, support groups specific to pornography addiction, such as those offered by organizations such as Sex Addicts Anonymous, SAA, or Porn Addicts Anonymous, PA, provide a safe environment to discuss challenges and share coping strategies. Therapy with a trained professional can provide valuable tools for dealing with triggers and developing healthy coping skills. 3. Practice self-compassion and patience. Recovery from addiction is a gradual process and can be filled with ups and downs. It is essential to practice self-compassion, understanding that lapses and setbacks are part of the journey. Be kind to yourself and celebrate every small victory, no matter how small it may seem. Patience is crucial, as changing ingrained behaviors takes time. Creating a progress journal can be helpful to visualize your achievements and stay motivated. Remember that every step toward recovery, no matter how small, is a significant step forward. 4. Replace negative habits with positive ones. An effective strategy for overcoming porn addiction is to find healthy, rewarding activities to replace the time and energy you use to spend watching porn. Identify hobbies and interests that bring you joy and satisfaction. This can include physical exercise, which helps release endorphins and improve mood, reading, learning new skills, engaging in artistic activities, or music. Establishing a daily routine that incorporates these positive activities can help redirect your energy and reduce the time you have for unhealthy habits. Additionally, mindfulness and meditation practices can increase your awareness of triggers and help you develop a more controlled and reflective response to these impulses. Implementing these strategies requires ongoing commitment and effort, but recovery is possible and can lead to a more balanced and healthy life. By following these steps, you will not only combat pornography addiction, but also promote significant personal growth, improving your quality of life and strengthening your interpersonal relationships. Remember that each journey is unique, and the most important thing is to keep moving forward, even when progress seems slow. With perseverance, support, and self-compassion, overcoming pornography addiction is an achievable goal. I hope these tips were helpful to you. Remember, the journey to overcoming porn addiction is an ongoing process, and every little step counts. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe on the channel for more content like this. And, of course, activate the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. Share this video with friends and family who could benefit from this information. Leave a comment below. Your participation is very important to us. Thank you for watching and see you next time.